I would like to be included in those who call for the vacation of the position of the DIG. I'll give my reasons, but then before I start giving my reason, I wanted to tell you something that has just cropped up to my mind as I was preparing to record. If you put all these things together, I'll tell you what happened and whatever, because I've arranged those things systematically. But as I was preparing my things, something came up to my mind, which is holistic and which I'll explain. I tend to believe that Congolese can see our flag. Congolese, there is a song by Franco and Madilu system, which was Makambo Ezali Minene. Mambo yamekuwa makubwa. But then, that is literally translation. But if you remove the literary translation and tell the expression, Makambo Ezali Minene, means that what we are seeing is the tip of the iceberg. What is hidden is more. It is what is minene, what is big. I've just remembered that I now know why Albert Omondi Ojwang had to die. I've just remembered. And that is why I wanted to start with it before I go there. Albert Omondi Ojwang crafted on his social media the tweet. He had placed there pictures of a newspaper which showed that the headline was saying that Lagat was in a group of corrupt people, and he had even gone to an extent of showing how money is collected and how it is shared, and how Lagat is becoming rich because of that. It has just come to my mind, my own calculation, as I was preparing this scene to start shooting. There are occasions when you say something. Kimchezo mchezo tu, but it happens to be, it later comes to happen. And we Africans, especially we Luhyas, we find that when you say that and it happens, people tend to call you mchawi. Walter Adede once differed with Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. And Walter Adede told Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, "You will never be the president." And Jaramogi Oginga said something like, "And you'll never see next year." We are in June, eh? So telling somebody in June that hutaona 2025. According to we Africans, especially some tribes, if you don't stay on that day, then we say that that is why even Raila at times is being called Yule Mganga, because the father told Walter Adede that you'll not see the next year, and then the next year he did see. For you, Walter was the father-in-law to Tom Mboya. He was the father to Pamela Mboya. That is an instance of misspeaking. There is another one I know of somebody who was calling for boda boda. And you see, people from coast are very good in jokes. He was calling for boda boda person to come, and he told the boda boda, "Come very quickly. If you don't come quickly, I will have you killed." And you saw he talked when people were there. So when this boda boda person was coming, before he reached this person, other people hired him for a quick service, and those are the people who killed him. By the time the truth was known, this person who had joked had suffered. So at times, talking something, joking, if you joke something, it may later come out to be similar to what you are saying, but you may not be connected to it. By the time the truth will be known, and the truth in some instances, it may never be known. Even if it is known after a week, who would like to spend a week in the cells? Nobody. So it is not good at times to make jokes. This I have in mind, that not jokes, to comment on something that may come out to be bad. This young man was traced to be the source of that information. Now, this thing really annoyed. As I'm going to talk, I had prepared myself psychologically on what to say about Lagat. So when he talked, he talked and said that there is corruption, and this is how money is collected, and this is how money is distributed, and so on and so forth. One side of me is telling me that it is possible that some senior, there is nobody who gets annoyed like a police officer who is in a station and is in is in a section that he gets nothing, just like report office. He's the same rank with that traffic police officer on the road, isn't it? But at the end of the day, the one in the report office just relies on his salary, and the one who is on traffic maybe comes home with 2,000 or something. There is that hidden hatred. So there is a high possibility, and I'm trying to believe that there's a high possibility that this young man, either deliberately or just like I've given the example of making a joke. You see, there are these jokes that you make. Another joke I can say is you remember Mutongwe Ferry. Mutongwe Ferry, the pilot was telling people, don't this or the ferry still is very full. Just don't come, just don't come. Otherwise, the more you come, some of you will not go back home. Some of you will sleep in the mortuary. And the ferry fell. So he was one of the persons who it took time for people to know that he was joking, because they were trying to investigate why did he predict. So some things when you talk, you may I've even seen on this page, on this channel, you talk of something somewhere and it is you just, because of having worked there, having done this and that, you just say if things are happening, then and you find that there's some times when security officers were being instructed. There is even times when security officers were instructed not to talk to me because somebody felt maybe I'm getting the information. So all that story I've said is that there is that possibility where you just comment on something, but then it happens that you are really talking the truth. So when this young man talked about what do you call the web of corruption, he may have received inside information. He may not have received inside information. But he talked the truth. He talked the truth. And that is why Lagat went to all that long system to find him. This explains why Central Police Station did not want to book him in the OB. That is one. Two, it explains why the CCTV, what had happened was somebody just switched it off, removed the power cable from the camera, so the camera could not work. So his injuries show a situation where these people were sure that he had information, and they wanted to know whether it is true that he had information. No, they were sure that he had information, But what they wanted was, who told you? Who told you? That is why he was tortured. And sorry for the alternating thoughts, but you see, I was not there. So we have to look at all options. But then, you cannot give information that you don't know, isn't it? So being tortured more and more, can you tell us who told you? I think that could explain why. If I say that, it shows that there is a certain corrupt syndicate that was happening, and the money was ending up at the DIG. And most likely, he just guessed something, just said something that later came out. And he talked of, is it him getting 10 million per, is it a week or a day or even a month? And you see, when you mention that thing, the more you are nearer the truth, the more the person is affected. If somebody said something that is completely fiction, it would not disturb you. So I think that is what it just came up. Uh, what I have learned in the last 24 hours leaves us with no option but to have him vacate the seat. I've just given you a long story of, here I'm talking of 24 hours, and I've also talked of what I've learned in the last 24 minutes. There are many things we have to quote, but I will just use a few. We are told that justice is not only got to be done, but it has to be seen to be done. Perception, perception. You can do justice, but if there is a perception that justice has not been done, then you are wasting your time. These are some of the, this is what people talk about Caesar's wife. You have heard the story about Caesar's wife. For those of you, especially the young people who don't know about Caesar's wife, because when we were growing up in the 60s, we used to quote a lot of Greek and so on. It is said that Caesar took action, was it killing or even divorcing his wife, because of unsubstantiated reports about his wife. So somebody came and asked him, why didn't you investigate that and whatever? And he said that being a Caesar's wife, she's supposed to be beyond reproach, beyond any level of suspicion. So when you are working for the government, you should be like Caesar's wife. On the other hand, I would also want to wish the president to initiate an inquiry into the DIG's removal. You see, if the DIG resigns right now, it will defeat a lot of truth. It will, okay, he resigns, isn't it? Then it goes that way. But if the president initiates an inquiry into his suitability, then a lot of truth will be spoken during that inquiry. If he resigns now, before the inquiry is started, or if he resigns when it has started, we will not know a lot of things. I would wish that the president, okay, I may be contradicting myself, but I'm trying to say that if the president initiates such a thing, there are those people whose positions are protected by the constitution. During our time, the president could sack even the vice president, but nowadays, very soon, the president may not even sack his house help. But I would rather the president starts an inquiry so that things are disclosed. I think that one I've explained. I am convinced that if he would have looked the other way around, you see, somebody calls you a witch, and you're not a witch, you know. At least, if he would have looked the other way around, the young man would still be alive. The young man would still be alive. I have a son born a few weeks after Albert. So you find that I know what he's feeling. So I would say that if Langat would have looked the other way, somebody, my son's age mate, will still be alive today. I am also convinced that in the unfortunate circumstances of him reacting like any other citizen, things would have gone differently. You see, if we go from A to Z on how he reacted and how he was treated and whatever. It means a lot of what? A lot of government taxes were misused because of him. If it was me or you complaining the way he would have complained, a lot of efforts would not have been done. So when the IGP says that even the DIG has a right to complain like any other person, then when he complains like any other person, he should also be like us. He should also complain and wait for ages the way we wait. Why should the DIG complain and things be done in 2 days, when me and you, when we complain, it takes 2 years? As the DIG, he was concerned about the first fake standard newspaper. He should not have even used the GSU in a prop box to go to the standard newspaper. You just look at the newspaper. When is it dated? He should have let the DC or read, or the other side, he would have, because such a thing, if it happens, it is not for the GSU to go there. It is for the DIG. Now, for the GSU to go there, and they are paramilitary, they are not investigators. Hmm? If at all it had to be done, it had to be, it is the DCI who should have gone there. For that, he should go. For that, he should go. Because even me today or you, we complain anything, it is the DCI who will follow that person, or even crime branch. But him, GSU people went there. So it is people who are selected. He's a former GSU commandant. These were GSU people doing a former commandant of GSU a favor. When I was an acting deputy DSIO Mandera and the substantive DSIO Elgeyo Marakwet, I used to get the day's newspapers for free, paid for by the government. Actually, the one from Mandera I used to be brought by Mira planes, so that one was not government money. I would expect right now that the government supplies the DIG all the newspapers. Now, if at his level he cannot reason, because if that thing was on the internet stating that it is the standard, he should not even have gone to the standard place to check on that. He should just have collected that day's newspaper to see if that newspaper was that way. After all, at Vigilance House, there is a chief inspector of police who reads the newspapers every day at 3 a.m. That chief inspector is at Vigilance. Nowadays, maybe a more senior officer. Okay, let's talk of the smaller rank, the chief inspector. There's a chief inspector who gets all the newspapers and he goes through. Anything that touches on the police, anything that mentions the police, he marks with a biro. So that when the DIG, or during my time when the inspector, during my time when the commissioner of police would come, he would just read those parts that are marked. So if that thing would have been appearing on the newspaper, it would have already been marked for him. Even before anybody reads it at 6 a.m., he has already read it and he has done that. For a DIG not to even think that this is a computer-generated thing, it shows that he is not fit to be that level, and he should go. Another thing that I should say that it may have affected him is that when he saw it on the newspaper, when he saw it on the social media, he must have asked himself how many more people do know that. But the act of sending GSU people to the standard newspaper to confirm whether that was their newspaper or anything shows that his reasoning capacity is below that rank. And if his reasoning capacity is below that rank, then he should vacate the office as fast as yesterday. At the second instance, there was a second newspaper again, and again he sent GSU people there. So kukosa kosa sio kosa, kurudia kosa ndio kosa, na amerudia kosa. How comes that the Probox GSU those officers who are in the pro box, the GSU officers, the two sergeants who left Nairobi for Homa Bay and back, and the OCS Central Police Station are all from one tribe. This exposed something extra. To expose something extra. By the death of Albert Omondi Ojwang, something else have been exposed here, and people may not know it. Does it mean that were it not for this particular case, Langat seems to be handling his things with the people from one tribe? Hey, if there is anybody who is the biggest campaigner for Gachagua, then it is this man here. Although I have to add here that according to what I believe is that Gachagua, people should not take him seriously, and what Langat is doing is assisting Gachagua to get ammunitions where Gachagua has no ammunitions. If some of you are slightly older can remember Khalwale, when Khalwale used to say, for this and this to happen, Kimunya must go. I think Khalwale has forgotten. He should have said for Kenya to be stable or anything, Langat has to go. I belong to the Tachoni tribe, and we believe that we are Kalenjins. So I'm not supposed to attack Kalenjins. You know I'm a Kalenjin. But Gigiri, where I was punished, the very place where Jimaji, the Kware feminist, was released, the DCIO comes from us. Actually, the other time I was joking with the DCIO, Gigiri telling him, Mitajoni, Mitajoni. That is the name for Kalenjin, saying that we Tachonis are Kalenjins and very soon we'll go back home. It is possible that even before they left Nairobi for Homa Bay, it was decided that the CCTV, that is the time when the CCTV in the Central Police Station was switched off. I believe that is the time when it was switched off. My appeal to President Ruto, especially since the people believe that I am both pro-Ruto and pro-police. You know, the best thing is to get advice from your supporter. My appeal to President Ruto, especially since people believe that I am pro-police and pro-Ruto, my appeal is this. When things became hot, you advised Koome to quit. This is just a single case, but it is as serious as the circumstances that led Koome to resign. Sir, it is a bit delicate for you because both you and the DIG are from Saudi Arabia. That is, both of you are Arabs. The new DIG should address public tension. Many video clips of people facing off with the cops have become of a concern. You can even see someone approaching the police. Police is armed with a panga. No, the police is armed with a gun, and the person is with a panga, and he sharpens it on the tarmac. We have seen so many cases that one would imagine that the scenes are in the 50s when Kenyans were fighting for independence. I know there is a Swahili saying that vita vya panzi furaha ya kunguru. When the public and the police should be friends, but when you find that the public and the police are not on good terms, and they have come to that extent of video being shown. There is that video we saw somebody sharpening a machete on and confronting the police. Actually, was even bending. There is another one. 3 people are on a motorbike. They pass near where the police is, and a policeman kicks the motorbike, and the 3 people fall down. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, my friend, my personal friend, CS Murkomen, my Mufiala, I'm calling Kanja Mufiala. You see, what is his name? The former deputy president should pay me something. The girl who called him Rigiji, he paid him something. I've been calling, people can see even from my videos for over a year. Over a year I've been calling, Rigathi Gachagua Mufiala, Mufiala. And then he has started a slogan of cousin. Mufiala is cousin in Luya. So I'm appealing to my cousin Kanja, do something. Because as Swahili say, vita vya kunguru, furaha, no, vita vya panzi, furaha ya kunguru. For those, even those who know little Swahili, it is said that when grasshoppers kill each other, if grasshoppers kill each other, the crows get free meal. So when we have reached an extent where what happened in London, Nakuru, what happened in Narok and whatever, I would believe, and I would ask Kanja to really sit down and think about it. When Kenyans have reached to an extent that they don't see the police. Another thing I would want to tell Mufiala Kanja is this. Please replay the videos. I spent 90% of my time in the intelligence, and I would want you to have a talk with Nordin Haji. Look at the videos. If you look at the videos, there is a time when the military armored personnel vehicles of the military went around the town. You could see the joy. You could see the joy in the. I grew up in the 70s, and in the 70s, every month, a government used to be overthrown, especially in West Africa. And we used to see when politicians do differ and whatever, the military took over. It is the politician who suffered more than even the first of all, the politician from the opposition suffered more than the politician from the government side. They suffered more than the politician on the government side. But whenever the military came out to the streets in those countries in the 70s, I used to see how the crowds would cheer them at our salvation, the people who have come to save us. And I saw that picture recently, last year during the GNC thing. When the military came, the way those young Kenyans were cheering them and whatever, it should cause concern. I know the president we have is the type of a person, when he has solved the problem, he moves on. But you, the National Security and Advisory Committee, should sit down and try to rethink. If police and civilians don't agree, crooks take over. Crooks take over. You have heard people say, heri nipatikane na wakora kuliko nipatikane na polisi. I think I should tell my cousin Kanja, that should be something for you to brainstorm. It is not good for Kenyans to have such views. Meanwhile, whatever way that you take, whether it is, there is something, when I was growing up, I used to hear people say, kwa yari kwa nguvu. I did not understand that they meant kwa hiari au kwa nguvu. Whether you like it or not, in Swahili they say kwa hiari kwa nguvu. So, DIG Lagat, I know you are pulled up by, people say you are there because you are a Kalenjin. No. You used to be the deputy commandant GSU under Mufiala. And then when Mufiala became the DIG, he made you the GSU commandant. And when Mufiala became the Inspector General, he pulled you to take over from him. You have good working chemistry with him, but please just go home. Just go home. Your stay is not tenable. The earlier you go, the better. kwa hiari au kwa nguvu. Thank you.